Hello everybody and welcome back to a new video. Today I will be reviewing the season finale of The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, or spoilers ahead, Captain America and the Winter Soldier, as the episode was ended with that title card. Immediately, I'm gonna have to say that I was a little bit surprised that the episode was basically 40 to 45 minutes long. I honestly thought that was going to be 60 minutes with the typical 7-8 minutes of the credits that they do, just because they are also crediting the dubs in different languages as well. I was really surprised that the whole big fight, I mean, granted it was a decent amount, but the whole grand finale of the Flag Smashers and face to face good guy versus bad guy was only about 25 minutes long, and that includes some just talking scenes, so it wasn't entirely all fighting. Not that I didn't like it, but I think I just expected it to just be the whole episode they're fighting, and then maybe the last 10 minutes we see what happens afterwards. But it was almost half of the episode, and then the other half they just spent on kind of completing the character storylines for this season, which I was okay with. I still enjoyed it. I do love the fact that they brought back the face mask technology that they used in The Winter Soldier when Natasha was pretending to be, I believe, a politician, and they ended up doing it in this one with Sharon just disguising herself as, I believe, a random civilian, because she is technically a fugitive of the government, which honestly, Captain America, even Black Widow, Steve, Natasha, you guys should have done better. I know you guys were on the run later on, but really? Are you kidding me? Now I got to just profess my absolute love for Sam's new Captain America suit. It was chef's kiss. It was amazing. It was beautiful. I believe it might have been from the new Rockstars Easter egg video, but I mean, obviously I saw the similarities between that suit and the one Captain America wore in The Winter Soldier, but what the host of Eric Voss of the new Rockstars said was that it has even more importance, because that's the suit, that's when Sam actually met Captain America, met Steve, and they became good friends. So it's not just a nod to that's one of the best, if not the best, Captain America suit that we got in the whole franchise, but also that's the era of Captain America that Falcon met. Now on to one of my more least favorite characters, Walker. Man, your shield did not last very long. That was maybe 5 minutes max that lasted before he looked over and it's completely destroyed, and he just looked so sad. Dude, what did you expect? It's not vibranium. You just made it out of some random stuff. I was thinking, oh, you know what? Maybe this Valentina, whoever she is, because we still technically don't know who she is. I think some people are saying that she could be Madam Hydra. I'm not sure though. She seems she only cares about herself, and she's not on a side thing, and it's more I do what I want to do, not what they want to do or what they want to do. But I was thinking that maybe she could have had some vibranium. I was completely wrong about that, which is okay. Either way, I wouldn't have cared if he had a shield or not. And also, when Sam was fighting the French guy, I don't recall his name. That whole fight scene was epic. I just love whenever Sam is just using his wings and then like he twirls or he's closing them in around him and then he does a twirl. Like every time I see Falcon, or should I say Captain America, fighting in that suit, it's fucking epic. Back to Walker, I was a little bit surprised, honestly, when he ended up deciding to, like, pull the truck of the hostages and helped. I still don't like the guy, but, like, they kind of gave him a redemption arc, which I'll talk a little bit more later on, but you could even see Bucky smiling and being like, yeah, he saved them, thank goodness for that. But then when, like, the truck went back down and it's like, Sam, the one person who isn't super powered, who doesn't have the super soldier serum, is the one that ended up saving them, and it's like, I just love it when we get a hero that doesn't have any powers, and it's like, they're still as, like, badass as the other ones that do have powers, like Steve, or, like, Hulk, or Thor, so that was, like, a nice thing to see. There's not much more I want to talk about for the whole fighting scenes in the finale. Not to say that I didn't like it, it's just there wasn't necessarily anything that really stuck out to me. I will say I did like the whole cinematography and setting in the underground scene where like the climax of the whole like good guys versus Carly, because it was basically Carly, the other Flag Smashers. Like Simo said, she kind of started having a supremacy idea, but they kind of started not liking what she was doing, especially when she was trying to say one people or one world, and it took them a while to say one people. But I just love the shot of it. We already know that. I love good cinematography, so that was a nice touch to see. And also, I'm not surprised about this. I had a feeling that Sharon was going to be the power broker, but I think the thing that surprised me more is how much she hates America, which, after thinking about it for a bit, I do understand why, but my, like, view of it was she was an agent. She seemed like she was so dedicated to her country, like she'd probably die for it. But I suppose like the fact that she was like neglected by them, and if you don't look at it on the country part, you can look at it, as I mentioned earlier, on the fault of Captain America and Black Widow. Like, Black Widow, maybe not, because they're kind of not deifying her like they have been with Iron Man and Captain America. I don't know if it's because she's Russian. Maybe that could be why. I doubt it, but they really do need to give her more credit. However, Captain America is literally like the symbol of the country. So I'm pretty sure he could have pulled some strings. Like, I mean, Sam, for fuck's sake, ended up doing that. So, if she wasn't pissed off about fucking what America did, very least she would be mad about what her supposed friends or, like, acquaintances didn't do for her. So, eventually I was like, you know what? I can see why you're a bad guy. It's kind of interesting because we haven't really seen any, like, good guys turn bad, and honestly, that's one of my favorite arcs, when it's like, oh, they became a villain now. What's gonna happen? So I cannot wait until we get to see more of that. I know that they're making a Captain America 4, so would they discuss that in the movie? Hopefully we get a season 2 of Captain America now and the Winter Soldier, but we're gonna have to wait and see. With Carly now, the actress did a fantastic job portraying her. I didn't hate, nor did I entirely like the character. I felt bad for her. I understood, like, the cause that she's fighting for, but she was also doing it in an unethical and just overall wrong way. So she was a good character. Like, I liked watching her, but it wasn't something I was rooting for. And what really surprised me is I thought it was honestly gonna be Zemo, although Zemo was gone in the other episode. So then Bucky or Walker who would kill her. But the fact that it was Sharon killed her, and also Carly shot Sharon when she was gonna, like, shoot the guy that was trying to shoot her. Like, what? I mean, she was distracted, so I guess why, but damn. So, it was kind of sad to see her die, and then she was, like, saying, "I'm sorry" to Sam, which you normally see in these types of situations in TV shows or movies, but I just want to point out, and if I don't include just even a photo, Sandra editing this, what the hell are you doing? But Sam looked so fucking angelic when he was just flying down with her body maybe like a fallen angel or something like that. I don't know, but I loved that shot. It was beautiful, and I loved his whole speech. I loved his whole speech to the politicians. It was really, like, heartwarming to see. Sadly, I am a little bit of a pessimist, and I know that would never happen in real life, but overall entertainment is a way to escape, so it's still nice to see this and it was really just moving to see him talk about it and to tell them, like, what happened? We were all once connected, but now you want to, like, kick these people out? Like, I understand that is hard, but I mean, if they were in that case where they were being kicked out, I don't think they would be really happy about it either. So at the end of the day, it's probably more of, like, the higher up you get, possibly the more corrupt you get, dealing with power, dealing with politics. That's always a very rough thing to deal with, so I'm gonna leave it at that. Also, someone mentioned to me how the whole one world, one people thing is like Hydra, kind of, with the whole Hail Hydra, which I think was a really good, like, thing to notice, because granted, they're so much better than Hydra was, saying that Hydra was a bunch of, and these people are more, like, trying to, like, change the world in, like, a positive way, kinda. Like, it depends on how you see how they're trying to positively change the world. But I'm interested if this is gonna, like, appear in not just, like, Captain America, like, when they make the fourth one, but maybe in, like, other Marvel movies. I'm not sure about that, but if this is, like, an ongoing, like, theme throughout the MCU, I would love it, because it's great when you see this continuity and connection throughout, like, different series in the whole Marvel franchise, and it's not just sticking to, like, one thing. It's like, we kind of saw Thanos in, like, not just, like, the Avengers related stuff, but we kinda saw him, I believe, in, like, the Guardians, like, very briefly. So I'm hoping for the best. And I can't make this review without mentioning Zemo and the fact that we got at least a nice tiny clip of him, because I don't know if we're ever gonna see him again, and when we don't, that's kind of sad, because he's a great actor, Daniel Brühl, so please as well bring Zemo back, because he's just such an interesting villain, because some of, like, his points are kind of right, but they're right in the way where it's like, it's starting to get you to judge your own ethics and morals, and I don't like learning about philosophy because I had to deal with that in university and high school. Writing papers on philosophy is not fun, but talking about philosophy, having philosophical debates is interesting, so that's part of the reason why I like Zemo's character so much. Now with Bucky, we got to see him go back to the old man that he's friends with in episode one, which I will say, I thought we were going to see more of that because their friendship was adorable. However, he did end up admitting that he was the one that killed his son. I mean, granted, he was literally brainwashed, so he did do it, but also kind of not. However, I would understand why, like, someone would never want to talk to you again, because, like, you still did that. In their eyes, you did that, and there's just nothing that can be changed. What seemed to change, however, is John Walker, apparently. Did everyone just forget that he killed a man in broad daylight with the Captain America shield and the mantle? Like, he was a bad guy, but, like, he could have just gone to, like, the raft, you know? He didn't have to be, like, murdered in front of literally civilians, children, adults. That was uncalled for. I know at the beginning of the season, I was like, you know what? He doesn't seem that bad in episode 2. And at the end, I'm like, never mind, you're an asshole. Fuck you. You're a little bit uptight, but it just seemed like that was kind of forgotten, and I don't think his redemption should have been that quick, because this man could have or should have gone to jail, and he hasn't. And I mean, obviously Bucky wasn't buddy-buddy, but he seemed kind of, like, okay talking to him a bit, so we will see. And he's now the US agent, which we all knew that was his character. However, I don't recall his wife's name, but his wife seems pretty okay with this. Like, okay, some lady called Valentina who doesn't even want us to refer to her as anything. It's just giving you this stuff and telling you to do this stuff. You seem a little bit too, like, okay with letting your husband do that, but you know what? As long as he's not a villain, as long as he doesn't do the shit he was doing and gets a therapist and works on his mental health, I am kind of okay with that. And I think one of the best parts of the show was the whole talk between Sam and Isaiah, and when I believe it was the Smithsonian, when they went to the Smithsonian and he showed Isaiah that he's now, like, he will have to be remembered forever. Even for those that don't want to remember him or acknowledge him, like, he is there now permanently. And it was so sad. I almost teared up. I almost cried, honestly. That scene was emotional. It just made me so happy. Sam is just, he's gonna do amazing as Captain America. I am so excited. And then we got to end the show on, like, this whole happy scene with Bucky's actually happy, and he's not like the fake happy in the first episode. And him and Sam are buddy-buddy. They're, like, friends now, which I honestly didn't think that they were gonna be friends at the end of the show. I thought, like, something was gonna tear them apart. Like, maybe Bucky ended up killing Carly, but that did not happen at all, which honestly I was happy with. Like, I'm happy that they're, like, friends now, because at a point it can be repetitive if you keep doing the same thing over and over again, which is a critique of mine for some Marvel movies, but I'm glad that they didn't end up doing this between the relationship, the bond between Sam and Bucky. And the final thing I want to talk about is that end credit. Now, Sharon has finally been pardoned by the American government, but I don't know if she was a part of the snap, if she disappeared or not, because if she didn't, she has had to be, like, out of America, on the run, for a whole fucking decade. I believe The Winter Soldier came out in 2014. This is 2024. And if she was flipped, or no, if she was snapped, then that would have still been, I believe, 6 years of running, which is still a lot of time. Like, she didn't get to see her family, so I understand why she hates, like, the country as much as she does. So the fact that she's taking back her role and she's like, don't worry that we don't got super soldier serums. We're gonna sell all of America's Secret, so I think she's probably just gonna be a villain for like one movie, and then they're probably gonna like put her in jail or something. The character honestly took a whole different turn, and I personally love it. I went from hating her in The Winter Soldier, and actually I believe she was in Civil War. Okay, so I take back what I said before. She was on the run more for like 8 years, but still, like, I didn't like her character that much in the movie, but in the show, like, she was a badass. Like, they did really great writing for her. Just overall, this show was so amazing. Like, you can't really compare it to WandaVision that much, because WandaVision was dealing more with, like, one's own, like, grief and depression, whereas, like, The Falcon and the Winter Soldier was dealing with systemic racism and PTSD and just the toll it has on people. So both shows were great commentaries, but I think this one did a little bit better in like displaying it, especially with the systemic racism, because that's something that still happens nowadays. So it's very interesting to see it portrayed in media, and they did a fantastic job of describing it, talking about it. They did a fantastic job with describing it, talking about it, how they deal with it, and everything, and oh my god, if this show doesn't get renewed for a second season, like, come on, y'all only have 6 episodes. I think we can get a little bit more. But the actors were also phenomenal. This review is probably a little bit longer than I thought, so I'm gonna end it at that, but thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, give it a huge thumbs up, subscribe to the button below, comment what episode was your favorite of Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I really like the Zemo dance episode, and if you like this more than WandaVision, I kind of don't want to compare the two, but yeah, and I'll see you next time.